What's good, guys? It's your boy Hugo the Savage back again for another Monday Night Raw, the review. I think it's the 12th of Raw for 12th of September, Monday the 12th of September 2022. We're here to chop it up, man. Me and the Demon team, we're about to go through it. Good to be here, of course. I hope everyone's doing well. Hope everyone's taking care of themselves. We're gonna go a bit scene through scene, match by match, minute by minute of Monday Night Raw, and see where this ranks among the other Raws. Yeah, it's been interesting the last couple of weeks of wrestling. I think the biggest talking point in wrestling over the last few weeks has been the whole like the AEW, and it's been the CM Punk stuff and all things like that. It's been a bit crazy. Don't know how I feel about all of that, to be honest. A lot of unprofessionalism going on. But listen, we're here to talk Monday Night Raw. I'd love to do AEW review sometimes, man, but I can't give them any of my time because they're a bit selfish when it comes to YouTube and stuff like that. You know what I mean? You don't say what they like, and that all of a sudden your videos get striked and things like that. And if you don't know from YouTube, 3 strikes and you're out, man. No more YouTube channel. So it's a bit of a risky one still. But we're going to chop it up. As you guys know already, I do this quite early, and I'm in the UK. So I understand that I think like 90%, well, it's not 90%, it's about 70% of the subscribers are abroad. That's fine, 100%. You can catch it at a later time and stuff like that. For all my people who are in the chat now, right live, you can enjoy it live. And let me know your comments on the show as well and how you think about it as well. And then we'll try and push some more wrestling content out going forward in the future as well. Obviously, I spoke previously about the memberships on this channel. I think me and Anna spoke about it in the chat before. And it's a bit harder on the Hugo Online channel because that's where we do movies, reviews, and reactions and stuff like that. But you need a certain amount of subscribers or some rubbish like that, or 1,000. I think you need like 1,000 subscribers before you can start doing a membership over on that channel, which is the one I wanted to start on straight away. And I kind of didn't want to do 2 channel memberships. I didn't want to have one for Savage Talks Wrestling, one for Hugo Online. I just wanted one all overall, which probably would have been Patreon the better way, because then I can add tiers in. So if you want wrestling, you can have this tier. If you want movies, you can have this tier. If you want both, you can have this tier. And it would have been cheap anyway. I would have done it like that. So if any of you guys have any ideas in the chat of how you'd want me to do it, then please let me know, because I'm still unsure about the copyright rules on YouTube memberships. So that's very important for what I do, because obviously I'm reacting to movies and stuff like that. So I'd hate to get people to pay membership, and then in our first couple of videos they get shut down, because that wouldn't be helpful. So if you guys know any way around it, let me know. Obviously I can chop up the videos and that still, but I do want to do retro wrestling reviews. I want to do watch-alongs of old pay-per-views and stuff like that. And I know that I can do a watch-along without having the video in the video, but it's kind of my thing on this channel. I'm kind of the only person on YouTube now who has the video in video, and I kind of sacrifice the monetization of the channel for that. But I like giving everyone a visual of what's going on, because not everyone who watches me has the network or has BT Sports and stuff. Some people only watch Raw and SmackDown through what I do. So that's where I want to kind of help people out. But we're gonna get into Monday Night Raw. You already know the motto over here, man. Like, listen, I'm here for a good time, not a long time. You know, like that on Monday Night Raw. Obviously, you already know no spoilers, but obviously you can ask questions as much as you like. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, let me get into the chat and then we'll cover Monday Night Raw. Raw's very interesting. I had a good time watching it, but we'll go for what anyway. So big up Anna in the chat. Hashtag Demon Team. Morning all. Hey Savage. Hey Anna. I hope you're well. I hope you've been doing good. To see you didn't watch Raw, so yeah, I'll go through it step by step and let you know what happened. Big up Khaled. Good morning, Savage, my guy. You know, like like that. Come on, bro. Yeah, come on. Yeah, man. Big vibes, bro. Big up John Conway, man. The GOAT. Come on. Vibes. Hope you enjoyed your birthday last week as well, bro. I just woke up and said my favorite YouTuber Savages. Like, come on, you know the vibes. Patreon is a much cleaner way of doing it because it still covers by the YouTube. Yeah, that's what I thought. Like, I did actually, like, currently I've got I've got a tab open. What's been open for about 4 weeks now from when we had the first conversation. I've done all the banners for the movie stuff, for the Marvel Mondays and things like that. Everything's done. All the banners are done now. All I have to do is figure out if on the channel I'm still going to do a full watch. Obviously, it'll be a full watch along, but will it have full visuals in for the whole movie, or will it be chopped up? Because what I plan to do is, obviously, for the members, they're going to get the full watch along. for the rest of the Demon team who's just tuning in for free. They'll get a chopped up version. So if we're doing a watch along for a movie, what's like 2 hours, 2.5 hours, on YouTube, you're gonna get 30 minutes, you know what I mean? 30 minutes of clips in between and stuff like that. So I have got the Patreon set up already. Need the name for the wrestling tier though. So I don't know if you got any ideas for the name of because I've got a name for the movie one already. I think I have anyway. And obviously, yeah, it's gonna be dope. But yeah, thanks for that. It's Brother Savage. I'd love to see you on your channel. Okay, man, that's good. As long as the people want it, because obviously, like I said, doing it on Hugo Online, what's got less subscribers on, I'd rather do it, cover it all, put it in the link in the description, and everyone gets a bit of everything. Because a lot of people don't watch Raw and SmackDown anymore, but they watched it growing up in the Attitude Era and the Ruthless Aggression, and that's what I'm going to be doing over there. So, you make much of any movies. Big up, bro. Okay, I'm gonna give myself a challenge and trying to get the first movie done by the end of this week. What I might do the first initial clipped up movie, see how the reaction is towards it, and then go from there. But big up. So Monday Night Raw. So we kicked off today's Monday Night Raw with a promo from Seth Rollins. The promo kind of listen. First of all, I just need to speak about Seth Rollins' reaction from the fans. Obviously, he's presented as a heel. He presents himself as a heel, but then he still is happy with the fans singing along with his song, and it's very loud. Like people love it, and there is ways around that because if you watch AEW MJF, he will entertain the people cheering him and stuff, and then he'll do something very heelish to make him feel terrible, which is what he should do. So Seth should do, the noise and stuff like that, and probably tell them, "Shut up, you scumbag, you fat, all of this business." Old school heat stuff, because you don't want the fans loving you. Because eventually there's going to be some fans who get frustrated with having the same champion over and over again, and what they start doing is they start going onto the side of the heel. Then the heel becomes a babyface, kind of like what they did with Seth before. When Seth had the title, people wanted Brock to lose it because he was a part-time champion. He lost it to Seth, and then everyone hated Seth because he was going against the Fiend, and the Fiend was the heel. So gotta be careful with that. But his promo pretty much was aimed towards Roman, really. He didn't really make anything personal, but he kind of said, like, now that I've put Riddle away, I want to go for the gold. I want to go for the WWE Championship. Then you got bro, and obviously Riddle came out. Now, I have no problem with this apart from I feel like the last 4 weeks of Raw, or 4 out of the last 5 weeks, we've had it start with Riddle and Seth in some way, or the show's ended with Riddle and Seth in some way. And it's like, at this point, you've had your pay-per-view match. We know this is going to lead to an Extreme Rules match. You've had the backstage stuff. You've had the fights backstage in the arena. You've had the fights when they're first walking in. They've had the interview fights. It's like it's becoming a bit overkill at the moment. Like maybe throw him in a tag team where Seth's on one team and Riddle's on the other team. You kind of have to do something about it. You can't just have these promos and then go straight to Extreme Rules because there's weeks in between. And I don't know if anyone realizes this or has stepped outside the box and looked, but for Raw, you've got 12 hours of TV a month to sort a story out. So they got to do a little bit better with that. I'm not trying to say it's way better than it has been, but they got to do a little bit better with that. So obviously interrupted by Riddle, this ensued into a fight, and yeah, Riddle kind of came out on the wrong side of the fight again, kind of. No one got seriously injured in this, but there was a fight, threw Riddle over the barricade, kind of escaped. And then Riddle was left in the ring, and then as Riddle was about to leave and take the mic, the Judgment Day come out. Now, I thought that it was just going to be one of the ones where the Judgment Day come out, they cross paths, and then Riddle has Judgment Day have their match or have a promo. But initially, they came out and basically said that they're trying to recruit Riddle. Damon Priest alluded to the fact that him and Rhea are friends, which I liked that he done this because as soon as he came out, I was like, this is awkward. I know that kayfabe's kind of dead, but I like to keep some of it around. And the fact that I know that Riddle, Rhea, and Damon Priest are all like best friends, like always together. I'm like, this ain't gonna work out. But he kind of alluded to it. He said, "No, we were friends. Me, you, and Rhea were close, and then we've seen the light, and you're whatever." So tried to recruit him. Finn Balor kind of said, like, stand with us or you're against us and all this thing. I have to say, and I'm a massive fan of Finn Balor, like a massive fan, but he in this group. It's a misfit. It's a bad casting situation. He doesn't feel any bit like a leader. He feels like the third wheel in that group. In fact, you could argue that Damon Priest is the leader. Then you got Rhea Ripley. Now you got Dominic, and Finn's at the back of the pack. And I know it sounds wrong, but his promos ain't the greatest anyway. I always feel like if you've got some kind of an accent, what's not American, you have to have a little bit more about you. And Finn doing the smiley thing but still being a heel doesn't work. Whereas Finn, who was on NXT, the last Finn we had, the Prince, was the best Finn we've had. That's a fact. It was when he was going against Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole and Karrion Kross and Gargano. It's the best Finn. He was a tweener. Couldn't really say if he was a heel or face until he helped out Kyle O'Reilly. But before that, couldn't really tell. So, yeah, he cuts the promo on them, and then Riddle kind of just gives him the bro and then knees him in the face, and that ensues into a match. The referee comes down, and we get a match between Finn Balor and Riddle. Yeah, the match wasn't the greatest, to be fair. It kind of was what it was. Had Rey Mysterio come out, take out Damian Priest, because Damian Priest kept getting involved in this match. So we took out Damian Priest, kind of went through that way. Then Seth Rollins comes back out and tries to attack Riddle. And then I think I'm pretty sure that we get like a coup de grace from Finn, picks up the victory, and then Seth beats the shit out of Riddle again, leaves him in the middle of the ring, down. And we go to an ad break, and kind of like this is the ongoing thing. Like Raw's been good, but they need to stop doing the Riddle and Seth thing constantly. Like do something else, take it out, have it somewhere away from the arena. It doesn't make sense because in our heads we're like, you guys have to cross paths backstage some way. So you're not really trying to get to each other as much as you say. Whereas we've seen stuff in the past where you'd have Austin coming in looking for whoever he's trying to beat up, Undertaker looking for somebody. We know that you're next to each other in the gorilla position, so it's a bit awkward, but yeah. Khaled says, yeah, no problem. Big fan of Finn Balor. Prince Balor's the best one, bro. Better than the Demon. But yeah, very weird. Big up Andrew. Hello, Savage. Hope we get the win today. Also, loads of Ajax fans. Because one of those fans is dressed like an Orange Cassidy. Flipping hell. Yeah, big up Andrew. We're trying to stick to wrestling at the moment, but yeah, big up, bro. Yeah, need new opponents. I mean, listen, if they're gonna fight at Hell in Extreme Rules, probably should put them in a Hell in a Cell match so they can't get away from each other. But then after that, we need to move on. So, but moving on from there, we had the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships on the line. It was Dakota Kai and Io Sky versus Raquel Rodriguez and Aaliyah. And would you know what I said the moment I did the reaction to them winning the tag team titles? And I quote, and you can go and check it. You can check the tapes. I think even Anna said it in the chat at the time when I had done the video. You can go and check. I said straight away, this is going to last about 2 weeks. These are transitional champions, and they won't make it for a month. And would you know that they lost the championships today, and they're not tag team champions anymore? And I knew this was coming anyway. But what they have done over the last 2 weeks is had good they've had decent matches. They've tried. So yeah, it feels like almost a gift from Triple H to Aaliyah because she's been on the roster so long and never got anything, to have her championship just to say she's had it. And it feels like they want Raquel to go back to being a singles opponent competitor because there's people she can go against on SmackDown, i.e. Ronda Rousey and people like that. So yeah, I don't know how I feel about the Bayley Buddies being champions, to be fair. I told you I like all of those women individually, but yeah, it was a bit mad. It was a bit it was a bit mad, I can't lie. Now what I will say is I think Dakota Kai picked up the pin in this, which is good because she's been getting pinned for the last few weeks. I don't know what move she done, but the move was great. I don't know what the name of that move is. It was like a code breaker weird thing, and I liked it. But they're going to be annoying as champions. Then none of them are being their self at the moment. Like Bayley is being over the top heelish, which is fine, but it feels like she's trying too hard to be a bad woman, and it doesn't work out as much. She's like playing the cosplay of a heel. That's what it feels like. Dakota Kai, we know if you just let her do her thing, she's great. And Io, yeah, on the mic, she's not going to be the greatest because English isn't her first language. But you let her wrestling do the talking for her, which she could have done before. So It's very weird that that they've got the titles now. Because if everyone remembers what I said is, which I'm probably wrong about now, I keep seeing Sasha and Naomi at fashion shows and music videos. They seem to be loving life, which is kind of what Triple H alluded to in the interview with Ariel Helwani, where he said Sasha Banks is one of the best wrestlers in the world, and if she wants to be a wrestler still, then she can. It's up to her. But I told you guys at the time, I told you guys before she left that I saw her on the Kevin Hart Holders Ball show. I saw her on the Hot Ones with the Hot Wings. I saw her on Lad Bible, and I saw her on Mandalorian, and then I saw her modeling something. And it felt like to me that a star is being born here, but not in the wrestling sense. Now we had this in the past with The Rock and Cena and Austin and stuff like that, but all those people are still in the confines of wrestling. Whereas this one, Phil, I don't think. Somebody let me know if I'm wrong in the chat. I don't remember us ever having this with a woman wrestler before, like turning into a superstar and being used outside the company. Can't really count Ronda because she was already there, and I can't think of anybody else. And it's a weird situation to be in now. So we'll see, we'll see. Apparently, the elite have sent three wheelers. Yeah, who knows about that, man? They're trolls, bro. They alluded to the outside stuff when they faced up in the parking lot. Need to yes, let's see the outside stuff on it. I wonder what the glitch was on Raw. Yeah, Lee and Raquel were my favorite tag team, but so is Bailey interfered in the match. I mean, I don't know how they became your favorite tag team, but the women's tag division is trash. Everyone, I thought that these guys would lose to Naomi and Sasha. I thought Naomi and Sasha would come back. I thought maybe Raquel and Aaliyah would win a few matches, do an open challenge, say that they want to do the give women opportunities and stuff like that, and then Sasha Banks' music will come on, and then her and Naomi will put on a great match and win. Clearly not going to happen, but they lost it. Yeah, exactly 2 weeks. They recorded it. You might now we know WWE Creative in their chat. It's you, but yeah, we recorded it straight away. We did. Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame for people like Aaliyah because you can tell that Raquel will be pushed to the moon, but Aaliyah tries. She's just not the greatest, isn't it? And I think that there's still a place for people who are not the greatest, for men and women, become a not a referee. What I was about to say, become a manager, a coach, a spokesman. You know what I mean? An advocate. Be something like that. You can do it, man. You got people like flipping LA Knight that he looks like he's going to come back wrestling again properly, who is good enough to be a wrestler and speak on the mic and do everything. Swap positions, and I felt the same with Lana when she was a manager. It was great. When they started to put her in the wrestling ring, it was a bit like it's not believable that you're going to beat Nia Jax, so just forget about it. Moving on from there, we had Johnny Gargano versus Chad Gable. Now, of course, it seems like since Triple H has been back, we are always going to get hints of not NXT as such, but hints of forward thinking indie style wrestling allowed on the main roster, whereas Vince McMahon wouldn't have allowed it. Now, I don't think there's anything wrong with it if it's a mix and blend of everything from stories to long matches and intricate matches. I'm here for it, and this was that. Chad Gable versus Gargano was a great match. It could have been for a title. It was dope. Gargano picked up the victory in this match, which I expected anyway. Obviously, Otis tried to interfere a few times, didn't really work out for him. But yeah, it was a weird one. It was a weird one. I think towards the end of the match, after that, Austin Theory came out and he assaulted Johnny Gargano, took a selfie with him and stuff like that, which was weird. I will say though, what I'm not happy about, and I don't know how they're gonna do it, but they make Chad Gable lose way too many matches. Like there's no importance to Chad Gable being a wrestler now, whereas he's one of the best wrestlers on the roster. The fact that all of us have thought about him and Kurt Angle having similarities the whole time. Forget all the Jason Jordan stuff. As soon as we saw Alpha, well, what were they called on NXT? Alpha America, America. Flip's sake, what were they called, man? I've got. Oh no, man. I know there was Reddy, Willie, and Gable. I remember that. Let me know what they were called. Big up, Nev. Yo, how you doing? I'm blessed, bro. Thank you very much, bro. Yeah, whatever they were called, the tag team, they were good as well. Had remnances of Team Angle and Kurt Angle and stuff like that. You saw Chad Gable last week with Angle. Just do it. You don't have to replicate Angle. They naturally are like each other, so just do it. American Alpha, that's it. Big up Khaled. Just do it. Push the button on it because he's too good to be losing week in, week out. Even as a tag team, him and Otis very rarely win any matches, which means that somebody coming in to beat them up, they get nothing off beating them. You can't get yourself over beating Alpha Academy because it doesn't mean anything. So bit of a weird one. Aaliyah's in work in progress. She reminds me of Liv in the Riot Squad. Raquel doesn't need the main roster yet. I think she's too one-dimensional. I agree. She should have stayed on NXT, and I agree with you about Aaliyah as well. 100%. I remember Aaliyah. She was on do you remember that show? Not Tough Enough. Was it WWE Breaking Ground where they were showing the backstage stuff? I actually really enjoyed that documentary kind of thing, and she was one of the main people on there because I remember she used to have a different name, and then Triple H said like you need to change that name. It was too like one-dimensional. So I know Aaliyah's not a real name, but yeah, I think they need to do better with Bliss. She's definitely championship material. Yeah. Bliss is of course, bro. The Goddess Bliss was one of the best women on the roster. They're not doing anything with her at the moment. It's just there, but very strange. Moving on from there, we had Bianca Belair comes out, open challenge to the roster for a title shot on Raw. Now, I don't know how I feel about this because I love Bianca Belair. I think she is 85% finished as a wrestler in terms of she has everything. She has everything. She has the look in every way possible. She has the way she dresses in every way possible. The strength, the everything. Obviously, she needs to get a little bit better on the mic, which will come with time, I'm sure. This isn't towards her because obviously she doesn't make the decisions on this. But what is the like open challenge for the title? And not only that, why? If, for example, you just put yourself in, this is where wrestling they have to do better and bring it into real life because if somebody offered you a championship title match and the locker room is full of women, first of all, somebody would run out straight away. I don't even think you'd have time for their theme music to come on. You'd run out the locker room straight away. You know how everyone runs after the 24/7 title? People should be running to the ring to fight this woman, and they're not. So that's the first problem you have with it. Second of all, the person who answers the challenge, which I don't mind, I like Sonya Deville. She's a SmackDown superstar. So then the question is, what you're doing backstage? That will be the question. That like when I'm trying to be honest and how I'm thinking of wrestling being real life. Why would you be backstage if you're part of SmackDown? You're not there with Mandy Rose. She's on NXT. So who are you with backstage? Show us something. But she comes down, answers the challenge. She says like, "Do you think I forgot that you're the reason why I lost my job as a WWE official?" The match ensues, and we get Bianca Belair versus Sonya Deville. And I promise you, love these women. They're both great. This was a squash match. Really, Bianca just beat her up, and KOD 1, 2, 3. Bianca wins, and Sonya looks weaker than ever. I don't get it. Nothing against any of these ladies, but I just don't get it. Very weird. I think after that we had what are they called again? The Bailey Buddies, the DOC, Damage Control, Department of Damage Control. I don't know what the hell they're called, man, but them they come out obviously for no reason again to cause problems. And then you know what's going to happen. If everyone hasn't watched it, I bet you can guess what's going to happen next. Yes, you guessed it. Oscar and Alexa Bliss come out. They take out the Bailey Buddies, and then Bailey's outnumbered in the ring by the three ladies. It's kind of what happened. There's not much to say. Yeah, I mean, it's not this. It's same old great stuff every week, you know. So, do you remember the WC? I mean, Nev, you're speaking to somebody who's got a wrestling channel, bro. I watch this over and over again. The invasion angle is my favorite Stone Cold on the mic. So yeah, I remember it. Wasn't appreciated much by me when I was younger, but older me watching it back, it's very funny. It's all comedy. The RVD, Angle, Austin, Taz, that whole thing was the best. Because Austin was in, I think Austin was injured at the time, so he wasn't wrestling hardly ever. But there was interrogations and stuff like that. It was dope. I liked it. So he used a lot like Angle, but Angle was perfect on the mic. Gable isn't that. Gable's not at that level. But to be honest, that shush thing that he does, the way he speaks and stuff, he's choosing to do that. He can speak better on the mic than that. So you are right. He would never be on Angle's level either. That's it's a different breed of wrestler there. But they can do better with him. Stop making him lose matches. Yeah, I thought you wouldn't like that match. I would just explain. Bianca Belair fighting Raw Superstar. Yeah, Bianca is great. There's something on needs tweaking, and I don't know what it is. I know what it is. It's her on the mic. They lean into too much of in the most respectful way possible. She sounds like somebody's favorite auntie when she speaks. I know it sounds deep in it, but she does. She sounds like the auntie that you love, like she's your mom's sister. You love to go see that auntie. She always gives you pocket money. She's always like, "Oh, do you want some chocolates?" And if something happened outside and you told her, she'd be the first person to go out there and beat someone up for you. But I don't want the WWE champion to be an auntie, like that. And it's a bit awkward. They just if anyone listens to Bianca Belair on WWE documentaries or the little shows they put on, she's like one of the sweetest women ever. So there's two ways you go about it. You have her speaking like she speaks on them documentaries and that, or she's a heel, but like a tweener heel. Like basically, her whole character is she's the EST. She's better than you at everything. So yeah, I'm gonna show you my actual wrestling skills. I'm gonna show you my CrossFit skills and everything. You can't beat me. Her whole gimmick is based on athleticism, and that's it. Instead of having a like, I don't know, it's weird, but I was watching the whole era on YouTube. Okay, fair enough. Bailey, when the time is right, she will fight Bianca Belair. Can they fight in Extreme Rules? I think that's what's going to happen anyway. I think that's what's going to happen Extreme Rules. But I don't want Bailey to be champion either, to be honest. Like, if you're going to take the championship off Bianca Belair, I don't need it to be to Bailey. But you can see that they're probably going to go down the route of the Bailey buddies all having a championship. Makes no sense. I can honestly say that it makes no sense Austin Theory being Money in the Bank. What they do, making title on the line with KO, as they have little. Well, yeah, we're going to get to KO and Austin Theory. I think you're right. Although I'm kind of fed up of because obviously last time with the Money in the Bank, the Miz lost it. Well, Otis won the Money in the Bank. The Miz won it off Otis in court, and then the Miz cashed in, and then had to have a match against Bobby Lashley, and then Bobby Lashley beat the Miz. It was all very, and then Big E beat Bobby Lashley. Bro, the whole thing was stupid. And if you win the Money in the Bank, you should be the person to cash in. But I will say this to you, Nev, to be fair. Vince McMahon was the one who's pushing Austin Theory, and Vince McMahon isn't there anymore. And the fact that they keep alluding to it kind of shows that they're trying their hardest to do something around it without it being obvious that he's going to lose that briefcase. Because I think they'll have him lose it instead of cashing it in, but we'll see what happens there. We had a backstage segment. Well, not I say backstage segment because there's a few that I forgot to write down on my list. So we had a promo backstage from Dominic in a dark room with Rhea Ripley on his shoulder, and it was decent. It wasn't terrible. It was basically Dominic explaining the reasons why he's got the problem with his dad and got the problem with Edge, and he said that he was living in his dad's shadow and etc. etc. Problem with Dominic, which he can't fix, by the way, so I'm not having a go at him. He is the biggest babyface on the whole roster, bro. This geezer looks like a baby. Like he's got a young face. He can't be evil like he was pulling faces when he was trying to do the promo, doing a lot of this, but it didn't feel one bit intimidating. And then Rhea would like whisper something in his ears and then he'd say some more stuff, which is fine because I said that they should go down the route of Rhea having a hold over him. That way, if you ever want to snap out of it and become babyface again, you have something there. But he did that, and then before he comes out to the match with Edge, he's backstage warming up, and then Ray comes and tries to speak to him. But Dominic done what he done last week. He just looked past his dad, didn't acknowledge him at all. Um, And then Rhea Ripley's got to stop saying, you know, what Poppy wants, Poppy gets, and all that and that. Because you're Australian, and when you say Poppy, it doesn't sound the same as when we're talking about the Mexican saying it. It doesn't sound. It doesn't sound the same. It doesn't sound the same at all. So just cut it out, man. Seriously, cut. It sounds terrible, man. It sounds very weird. It sounds like if this was TV 14 like 20 years ago, she would be a dominatrix and she'd have a hold over him, and you'd have some backstage segment where Dominic's naked and she's whipping him and stuff like that. That's what it feels like to me. I'm sorry, but that's what it is. I know it feels mad, but yeah, can't do anything about it, and it's kind of how it is. Um, we had there was a war of So after back, I forgot about this. So after back of the briefcase thing with Austin Theory coming out and stuff like that, you had him and KO. KO got another promo on him. Tried to take me to stun. I didn't really work out. Rolled out the ring, and I don't understand the Austin Theory thing. So I know Nev brought it up already, but yeah, when it comes to them, kind of pointless. We had a segment away from not away from WWE, it's part of WWE, but it wasn't in the stadium, it wasn't in the ring, and I liked it. And there is a lot of stuff that don't make sense about it, but there's a lot of stuff what felt great about it. Now, this was we had Dexter Loomis and the Miz again, so we had another segment. So this segment is filmed as Miz and Mrs. Like the reality show, which I actually watched, by the way. I really enjoy it. So that it seemed like they filmed it with the same cameras, and basically what it was they were in the Miz's house. Miz and Maurice were getting ready to go to an award show, so they were all dressed up and stuff like that. But the Miz was a bit apprehensive, and Maurice was kind of taking a piss out of him. She's like, "You're still scared of the boogeyman, and you're scared of Dexter Loomis." She's like, "You can't get here. We live in a compound with gated community with security, and everything's fine." So the people who were filming, obviously Miz and Mrs., because they were taking so long, they recorded the Miz speaking. They were asking him questions about Dexter Loomis, and every time he mentioned Loomis, um, the Miz would like, "Don't mention his name to me. Like, stop saying it." Then they asked him what happened, and again he said, like, I think he said that WWE staff and security had to escort him out of the building when Dexter Loomis came after him, because obviously it didn't make sense. The way Raw finished last week is Loomis put Miz over his shoulders and left when no one came after him. So they should film something backstage so we can see. Stop telling us what happened after with no proof, because it feels silly. Um, they kept it. It was weird, yeah, because obviously they're doing that point of view. So it looks how I'm talking to you guys. You can't. If there was somebody producing me, you wouldn't be able to see them in it. They'd be on the other side of me. So that's how they were doing it, which I liked. And then I noticed something when I'd done the reaction. So if anyone hasn't seen my reaction, go watch it back. But I noticed that there was a quick movement when the Miz was like, "We're gonna go to the award show. You guys need to let yourself out as quick as you can." You could see that's the Loomis in the window, like he flashed his face. And when I watched it, I thought I was in the wrong. I thought I was confused. I watched it back. He was there. They went to their award show, and when the camera left the car and went back to the shot of the house, Dexter Loomis was in the house drawing a picture of them. I literally called this whole thing while I was watching it, and it was a great picture, by the way. And then he does the old he lifts it up and shows them, and then he's just staring through. Which begs the question: do we see a clip next week of the cameraman phoning Miz and Marie saying you need to come back? And when they get back, there's police outside the house and stuff, and I don't know, Loomis just drew a picture on their wall or something, because otherwise it doesn't make sense. The thing's great. It's like having something what's really great. It's like watching a movie what's film perfect that has great dialogue, but it doesn't make sense. Sooner or later, we have to know. And Dexter Loomis doesn't speak, so we need to know what's going on. Few things I will say: they didn't really elaborate to where the kids were, but I'm guessing they're at the house. There's probably a babysitter or something. Which says that, like, if I had a stalker who was after me week in, week out and keeps taking me away and followed me in my car and stuff like that, I wouldn't leave my kids. What they should have done is have the Miz say, "I'm not going anywhere. Maurice, you go on your own because I'm not leaving the kids alone." And then when you have a shot of the Miz going to make the kids a glass of milk or something like that, then you have Dexter Loomis in the window, and then it finishes, and then we can speak about it next week, because it doesn't make any sense. Remember before we had, I think somebody alluded to it. Yeah, Nev's. Yeah, DDP stalking. Only thing with the DDP one, that was brutal at the time with Undertaker's misses and that. They can't go back to that, of course. But yeah, it's a bit weird because the stuff that WWE always want us to forget. So let me get to the comment section and I'll mention it. Uh, Rhea Ripley, please don't. Yeah, it's weird. Rhea Dom is a huge baby face. I was thinking that the same about Ripley. It doesn't go down good, innit? So big up Alexander, bro. Yeah, man. Cody's breaking that, my guy. Hope you're well, brother. We got through that as well. Don't know why Dexter Lumis is hunting the Miz. I thought he was, so, but that's what I was going to say to you right now. So, he's on Raw. He's not on NXT. He only went back to NXT to speak to Indy Hartwell because obviously he married her on NXT, which I don't mind that closing up storylines and that. But my problem is when Dexter Lumis first came in this roster, he was in the crowd. We thought he was a fan at the time, and then he lifted up his hoodie and he tried to kidnap AJ Styles. That was it. It was about AJ. Then we had the next week where obviously AJ was wary of what's going on. So every time he got by the barricade, he got a bit scared. And then we had another guy in the crowd with a hoodie on who looked like a damn psychopath. He looked like, if anyone's watched Dark Knight Rising, you know the guy who works for the Joker. That's who he looks like, bro. But it's Dark Knight Rising. So yeah, that guy tried to grab him, and then on the other side, Dexter Lumis was dressed as one of the SWAT team members, and he stole the Miz. He took the Miz away. What was the reason for you going after AJ Styles? AJ Styles and the Miz don't look alike. So what was the problem? Also, who is that man in the crowd who helped Dexter Lumis? Because Dexter Lumis doesn't talk. So how does he have friends? Also, if not, was he a fan? Is that what you're going to tell us he was a fan? Because if it was, then elaborate and talk about it. Make us think that a fan tried to take him as well. The only way they save this, because the story is fine at the moment. I like it. The only way they save this is if at the end of this, when Miz explains what happened or whatever, there's a cult that Dexter Lumis has behind him. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like, you know how serial killers, Charles Manson and these kind of people, they had people who followed them just for the sake of it. Even when they went to court, they had people who turned up at court loving these people. Have that go on without alluding to it as such. Just have a cult of Loomis, man, who just follow him around and they want to do. There's one in Batman, like the last Batman movie, the Riddler. He's got a cult of people who all dress like the Riddler and do the same thing. It'll make sense to do that because at the moment it doesn't make any sense. But we'll see what happens next week. I like how it's filmed though. I really like how it's filmed. The Miz is great and he really works. He puts everything on the line for the company. He'll take the loss for the company. He'll lose to people like Bad Bunny and Logan Paul for the company. The Miz is great, man, and he's actually a good actor. So when he's doing promos and stuff, it feels real. So yeah, big up to the Miz on that. But we'll see. That's the Lumis. Please focus on one person. Now, it doesn't have to focus on one person, but he just can't go to get AJ Styles and then leave it alone. If he went after AJ, then went after the Miz, then went after like Bobby Lashley or someone, then we're like, oh, this guy's just got a problem with wrestlers on Raw. But at the moment, it's very confusing. So they're trying to do that's Lumis story, but they have to start with the Miz from the beginning and slowly. But yep. The Miz sooner or later has to tell us what happened with him and Dexter Lumis. Where did he take him? You know what I mean? Where did he take the Miz? Who else was there? Have to do that, man. Moving on from there, we have the main event of the show, which was Dominic Mysterio versus Edge. Obviously, I just told you about the segment where Ray was trying to speak to Dominic backstage. He was pretty much saying to Dominic that Edge ain't messing around his family, but he will destroy you because you've stepped out of line one too many times. Now, we get this match. It was a decent match. Edge pretty much bullied Dominic for the whole match, which is what should happen because Edge is the superior wrestler. He's a legend. He's a Hall of Famer. So, yeah, I liked it. I liked the match. The match was fine. Obviously, you knew what was going to happen a bit to this match. So there was a part where, if anyone remembers, when Seth Rollins tied up Dominic in the ropes and him and Murphy smashed the hell out of him with a kendo stick. Well, they did that again today. Edge did it, but there was no kendo stick, and he was just slapping him in the face. He was being disrespectful. He was which is what you should do to a kid or a younger person who doesn't want to listen. So he's slapping the hell out of him. Then then it looked like Edge was gonna wait for Dominic to be released to give him a spear. Obviously, Rhea was on the outside, but she wasn't getting involved in that part. I thought she was going to untangle him, but she didn't. And then as Edge runs towards Dominic, Ray jumps in the ring, steps in the way, gets into the face of Edge, not in an aggressive way, but kind of says like, "Yo, you can't do this." Edge kind of hasn't having it, and he throws Mysterio into the corner. Um, and then you realize that Damien Priest is there, and he pulls Rey Mysterio out the ring. Then Finn Balor gets into the ring as well. I think he hits Edge with a chop block. And then Damien Priest picks up Rey Mysterio in like a suplex throw, throws him over the table, looking announce table, and then obviously it's four against one, 4-on-1 with Edge. Edge does the best he can, but it doesn't work out for him. They keep taking out of his leg, which is I like the fact that they're going back to the leg because of last week. And yeah, they beat the shit out of him, and then they handed Dominic the chair. Thank God there was no concerto this week because I'm getting bored of that. But Dominic beat the shit out of Edge with the chair. There was a weird part where like Finn was holding Edge by the face, and then Rhea kind of hit him in the back of the leg, but it was the softest. Like if you're not going to use the steel chair properly, just don't use it. Use a kendo stick because it looked like it didn't hurt him at all. And then they won up to what they did last week to Edge. This week, what they did, instead of putting his foot on top of a chair, what was lying down, and giving the coup de grace, this week they elevated his foot on the chair, put it between it, and then Finn Balor done the coup de grace off the top rope, and his leg should be broke. If it's not broke, it should be fractured. But what I will say is, Edge didn't sell it the way he sold it last week, and this one definitely was worse. It was definitely worse. And yeah, then you had weird Finn Balor doing weird stuff like picking up Edge by the face, and you messed with Dominic, you messed with Rhea, and you messed with Damien Priest. I'm like, okay, don't let Finn Balor speak anymore unless he's going to go back to being the Prince. Honestly, just let Damien Priest be the leader of this group. Now, I said to you guys before, I said it last week. I love Edge, bro. Everything about him is great. The theme music, Edge and Christian together, the conquistadors, everything about them. But if he's gonna keep doing this thing where since he's returned, leave and come back, and I said it last week, he came back at Royal Rumble. He had the greatest match, the greatest show. What's it called? The greatest match ever against Randy. Tore his tricep, left, came back at Royal Rumble again, won the Royal Rumble. Fought against Roman at WrestleMania and Daniel Bryan, got battered, left, came back again, done his normal thing, started the Judgment Day, got battered, left, come back as a babyface, and now he's got his legs taken out by the Judgment Day, and he's gonna leave again. I'm bored now. I'm bored. Just stop it. What was remember all the vignettes we got a couple of weeks ago, and he was showing all the different things. He didn't even explain it. He's like, oh, I had Rey Mysterio's mask and Mick Foley's mask and Kurt Angle's medals and John Cena's hat and all this business. It didn't even explain it. Like at the moment, you could take them same vignettes and just give it to somebody else and wouldn't know the difference. It didn't explain anything. What was the point of him walking through dark, abandoned buildings with bits of people's stuff on the floor, just for him to rise from hell at SummerSlam? That meant nothing. The entrance was great, but it didn't mean anything. So I think the Miz is definitely underrated. WWE has definitely done a lot for the business. Yeah, him and R-Truth. Like R-Truth's put his integrity on the line for the WWE to look stupid. I wouldn't mind the R-Truth US title run, to be honest. Just let him win it in a funny way, but then you have to take him serious because remember, people forget that R-Truth can wrestle. I think Edge will take some time off so he can be better, but I want Edge and Beth Phoenix. I do not want that match at all. I don't want to see it at all, bro. I have Rhea Ripley versus Beth Phoenix at like Women's Evolution or something like that, but flipping heck. But yeah, that was the end of the show. Get your rating in for the show. I think I gave Raw 6 out of 10 last week, and it doesn't feel far off. The thing is, I have to let everyone know that 6 out of 10 is not bad. It means it's above average. Above average to good. I thought Raw was good. Still a lot to work on. Yes, I have high standards. I've lowered my standards for Raw anyway because times have changed, and Triple H have been there that long anyway. But at the same time, I have to be honest. So I'm going to give it a 6.75 out of 10. It was close to a 7. 7 would be really good, isn't it? Like Oh no, it was decent. It was decent. Um, I still don't know about like certain main event matches and that. Like, I don't know. I don't want a main event match between Dominic and Edge. So I'm gonna leave it there. But thank you guys for joining me. Anyone who comes in later on to see the show, thank you again for that as well, hitting the like button for me. Um, just add to everyone's questions real quick. Nev said, I liked R-Truth when he turned heel with the Miz and beat up everyone. Yeah, yeah, I agree with you. Rating for Raw would be a 7 out of 10. Yeah, that's a decent, to be fair, 7 out of 10, 6.7 out of 5 out of 10. It's not far off each other. So, yeah, big up to you. Beth Phoenix, Rhea Ripley, Women's Evolution, please book it. I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you. And start having Rhea Ripley dressing like a woman again a little bit, man. Like she's dressed like a drug dealer's hitman outside the ring, man. I don't like it, man, but it is what it is. Yeah, guys, thanks for coming along. Big up Nev, Khalid. Who else was in the chat today? Big up Anna, of course. Alexander was in the chat on his college break and that. I think that's all we had in today. But yeah, man, it's been though. Big up Andrew as well. You guys know I do this show because I would have done it anyway without it being live, but I thought I'd give people a chance to say what they want about Raw and stuff like that. Let me go. Let me know in the comment section if you're watching this later on or now. If you want Savage Talk Live to come back on Thursdays, if you want, and we'll just talk about everything in wrestling and instead of just Raw, SmackDown. Normally go through stories. I'm not really going to cover rumors and stuff like that, but we'll go through stories. So let me know. I need a certain amount of numbers of people to let me know though, because I'm not gonna. I've got a lot of stuff to do in it. I have a football channel. I have a HUGO online. I have HUGO. Yeah, I'm in a wrestling channel. So let me know. But big up to Nev. Big up to Khalid. Big up to Anna. Big up to Alexander. As I said, Andrew. And yeah, man, it's been dope, man. You already know the vibes, bro. I'm gonna get the hell out of here, bro. Got more work to do. But guys, you already know the vibes, man. Check it in. I've been your boy, Good Savage. Comment, like, subscribe, and share.